again! Never again! Never again! Never again! Never again! Never again! Not in our name! 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 Asylum is not a crime! 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 Shame! 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 Where are the girls? Where are the babies? 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 Where are the girls? Shut it down! 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 Families belong together! 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 Quit! 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 Quit!
Luchar para los otros. Luchar para los otros. Luchar para los otros.
Shut it down! 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 Quit! Shut it down! Shut it down! Shame! 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 Shut it down! 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 Shut it down!
Families belong together.
Shut it down! Shut it down!
Families belong together. 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 Families belong
Shut it down! 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 Shut it down!
Families belong together.
Shut it down! 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 Shut it down!
Families belong together.
Shut it down!
Belong together.
Shut it down!
Families belong together. Families belong together.
Queda en el chat para los otros.
Shut it down! Shut it down!
Families belong together. Families belong together. Families belong together.
Shut it down! 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 Shut it down!
Families belong together.
Shut it down!
Shut it down.
Shut it down! 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 Shut it down!
Cups and borders, we don't need them. What we want is total freedom.
Cops and borders, we don't need them. What we want is total freedom. Cops and borders, we don't need them. What we want is total freedom. Cops and borders, we don't need them. What we want is total freedom. Cops and borders, we don't need them. What we want is total freedom. Cops and borders, we don't need them. What we want is total freedom.
Cops and borders, we don't need them.
What we want is total freedom.
Cops and borders, we don't need them.
What we want is total freedom.
Cops and borders, we don't need them.
What we want is total freedom.
Cops and borders, we don't need them.
What we want is total freedom.
Cops and borders, we don't need them.
What we want is total freedom.
Cops and borders, we don't need them.
What we want is total freedom.
Cops and borders, we don't need them.
What we want is total freedom.
Say it loud, say it clear. Immigrants are welcome here. Say it loud, say it clear. Immigrants are welcome here. Say it loud, say it clear. Immigrants are welcome here. Say it loud, say it clear. Immigrants are welcome here. Say it loud, say it clear. Immigrants are welcome here. Say it loud, say it clear. Immigrants are welcome here. Say it loud, say it clear. Immigrants are welcome here. Say it loud, say it clear. Immigrants are welcome here. Say it loud, say it clear. Immigrants are welcome here. Say it loud, say it clear. Immigrants are welcome here. Say it loud, say it clear. Immigrants are welcome here. Say it loud, say it clear. Immigrants are welcome here. Say it loud, say it clear. Immigrants are welcome here. Say it loud, say it clear. Immigrants are welcome here. Say it loud, say it clear. Immigrants are welcome here. Say it loud, say it clear. Immigrants are welcome here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Open up the prison doors. 5, 6, 7, 8. We don't want a prison state. 1, 2, 3, 4. Open up the prison doors. 5, 6, 7, 8. We don't want a prison state. 1, 2, 3, 4. Open up the prison doors. 5, 6, 7, 8. We don't want a prison state. 1, 2, 3, 4. Open up the prison doors. 5, 6, 7, 8. We don't want a prison state. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Open up the prison doors.
5, 6, 7, 8.
We don't want a prison state.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Open up the prison doors.
5, 6, 7, 8.
We don't want a prison state.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Open up your prison doors.
5, 6, 7, 8.
We don't want a prison state.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Open up the prison doors.
5, 6, 7, 8.
We don't want a prison state.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Open up the prison doors.
5, 6, 7, 8.
We don't want a prison state.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Open up the prison doors.
5, 6, 7, 8.
We don't want a prison state.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Open up the prison doors.
5, 6, 7, 8.
We don't want a prison state.
No borders, no nations. Stop deportations. 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 No borders.
Stop caging children! 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 Shut it down! Stop caging children! 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 Stop! Stop caging children! Stop caging children! Stop! 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 Stop!
Caging children!
Stop!
Caging crime, right?
Stop!
It was leaked by a border patrol agent, given to a
This
lawyer,
stops
who gave it to
now!
a Republican.
This stops now! 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 No peace! 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 No peace!
The kids crying.
No peace! No racist police! No justice! 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 No peace! No racist police! Keep families together! 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 Shame! 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 Keep families together! Keep families together! Keep families together! Keep families together! Shut it down! Shut it down! Shut it down! Shut it down!
Shut it down!
Shut it down!
Shut it down!
Shut it down!
Shut it down!
Shut it down!
Shut it down!
Shut it down!
Shut it down!
Shut it down!
Shut it down!
Shut it down!
Shut it down!
Shut it down!
Shut it down!
Shut it down!
Shut it down!
Shut it down!
Shut it down!
Shut it down!
No one is illegal. Power to the people. 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 No one is illegal. No one is illegal.
Fuck you, ICE! 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 The people are rising. No more compromising. 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 No more compromising. The people are rising. Compromising. The people are rising. No more compromising. The people are rising. No more compromising. The people. Borders, no nations. Stop deportation. No 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 borders, deportation. Stand up, fight back! Immigrants are under attack! What do we do? Stand up, fight back! Immigrants are under attack! What do we do? Stand up, fight back! Immigrants are under attack! What do we do? Stand up, fight back! Immigrants are under attack! What do we do? Stand up, fight back! up the prison door. We don't want a prison state. Open up the prison door. We don't want a prison state. Open up the prison door. We don't want a prison state. Immigrants are welcome here. Say it loud, say it clear. Immigrants are welcome here. Say it loud, say it clear. Immigrants are welcome here. Say it loud, say it clear. Immigrants are welcome here. Say it loud, say it clear. Immigrants are welcome here. Say it loud, say it clear. Immigrants are welcome here. Say it loud, say it clear. Immigrants are welcome here. Say it loud, say it clear. Immigrants are welcome here. Say it loud, say it clear. Immigrants are welcome here. Say it loud, say it clear. Immigrants are welcome here. Say it loud, say it clear. Immigrants are welcome here. Say it loud, say it clear. Immigrants are welcome here. Say it loud, say it clear. Immigrants are welcome here. Say it loud, say it clear. Immigrants are welcome here. Say it loud, say it clear. Immigrants are welcome here. Say it loud, say it clear. Immigrants are welcome here. Say it loud, say it clear. Immigrants are welcome here. Say it loud, say it clear. Immigrants are welcome here. Say it loud, say it clear. Immigrants are welcome here. Say it loud, say it clear. Immigrants are welcome here. Say it loud, say it clear. Immigrants are illegal. Power to the people. No one is 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 illegal. The people are rising. No more compromising. 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 The people taking children. Stop 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 taking children.
You like let
taking children.
them freeze?
Stop taking children.
Stop taking children! Stop taking children! Stop taking children!
Stop taking children. 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 Stop taking children.
Let them go!
Taking children. Stop taking children. Stop taking children.
Stop taking children! 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 Stop taking children!
taking children. Stop 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 taking children. History is watching. 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 go, hey, hey. Ho, ho. Racist face has got to go, hey, hey. Ho, ho. Racist face has got to go, hey, hey. Ho, ho. Racist face has got to go, hey, hey. Ho, ho. Racist face has got to go, hey, hey. Ho, ho. Racist face has got to go, hey, hey. Ho, ho. Racist face has got to go, hey, hey. Ho, ho. Racist face has got to go, hey, hey. Ho, ho. Racist face has got to go, hey, hey. Ho, ho. Racist face has got to go, hey, hey. Ho, ho. Racist face has got to go, hey, hey. Ho, ho. Racist face has got to go, hey, hey. Ho, ho. Racist face has got to go, hey, hey.
I'm from Ireland.
Stop it now.
Shut it down. Shut it down. Shut it down. ICE! Deport 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 ICE! Fuck you, ICE! Deport 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 ICE!
We go like this. This is what we do like this.
Fuck you, ICE! 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 White allies! Fuck you, ICE!
Without any sign. Pass that shit. POC to the front.
Yeah, sorry about that. Oh, yeah.
Keep families together!
POC up front. POC up front. POC, come up front. POC, come up front. People of color, come up front.
Keep families together!
Gobierno de Estados Unidos para decir quién es ilegal en este país que robaron de nuestra gente.
Yeah. Okay. Hi, yo. Well,
Closer. Closer.
okay. I guess you can hear me now. Okay. Now I'm gonna get stage fright. Okay. So okay. You can hear me now. Okay. Okay. Well, I am. Give me a second. My incense just burned me. I'm a son of two immigrants, specifically. My father's from Guatemala and my mom's from El Salvador. They came here in the 80s after a lot of political and socioeconomic instability was caused by the United States intervening in Central America, where they had no business in being, and supporting a racist, classist system that puts down folks of indigenous and African descent And we are forced, a lot of our people are forced to come up here where we confront the same racism, the same problems. And so, I don't think el presidente Trump tiene autoridad de decir quién es legal en este país, porque his ancestors literally stole this country from the indigenous people of this land. The fact that you have separation of children from their family, usually these are not Norwegian migrants. These are not folks that Trump wants to let in. These are people that look like a lot of the same discriminated folks of African and indigenous descent in Central America, especially in Central America these days. And it's ridiculous that we've had on this continent, my ancestors have had traditions of moving wherever the hell they want because they don't recognize an authority that does not honor treaties, does not honor human rights, does not honor or respect the dignity of red and brown people. So I'll say this as a closing. It's interesting that Border Patrol ran over an indigenous person on his land in the Tohono O'odham, I probably mispronounced it, I'm sorry relatives, on his land thinking he was illegal because that's what they look for. They look for people that look like me and them and like the people that are actually indigenous to this continent and telling us what we should and shouldn't do. Now, please, allies in general, I know a lot of folks from my similar background don't, we understand you trying to get the message of the lack of inhumanity that's happening right here, but please be careful with sharing those audio clips and those images of children crying, because those are our children, and I understand the fact that we are all a shared humanity, but those are literally our children, and you don't want to keep showing that into our face because we know more than anyone what it is to have our children ripped from our hands. And ahí está. Thanks for listening to me, I guess.
Anyone else got something to say? Anyone else? May I? Well, one moment. Yeah, we can speak up. Any POC have anything else to say? Anyone have anything to share?
Sir, I'm a person of color, though it doesn't show.
Gotta make sure.
Hello, folks. My name is Chuck Poling. I'm a San Francisco native, a father, and the son of an immigrant from El Salvador. I have a pale face and I don't speak Spanish, but I am mission-born and mission-proud. I grew up with immigrants all around me and knew them to be the hardest working people in the country, the people most eager to become American, and the people most close with their family. The family is the backbone of the immigrant community. And to see it ripped apart, to see what our government doing now is as horrible as what happened to Japanese Americans during World War II. It's a shame and a stain upon our country. Now, we can all stand up now and do something about it. That's all we can do right now, but we're here and we're doing it. It ain't much, but we can do it. And I encourage everyone to do something, get out, write, stand with us. We are all immigrants. No matter what we look like, no matter what we speak, we are all immigrants. Let's stop this now. Thank you.
How's it going, everybody? My name is Terry. I'm with the Filipino Community Center here in San Francisco. The Filipino community stands with all migrants, all people of color, all oppressed people here and around the world. We are part of the San Francisco Immigrant Legal and Education Network that created a rapid response network because we knew these ICE rates were coming down. We knew this was happening because even before Trump, before the Republican administration, the Democrats, everybody, this United States country, as the brother has said, has been impacting our homelands, our countries back in the Philippines, throughout Latin America, throughout Africa, around the world, from the Middle East. San Francisco is this country of immigrants, this city of immigrants, right? And we've been standing up and resisting ever since. We stopped the Muslim ban in San Francisco airport, right? One of our brothers was detained, denied entry, tortured, and then deported back to the Philippines here at San Francisco airport by Customs and Border Protection, and we stood up against that. San Francisco is going to stand strong. The native people, the black community that's still here, the white people that are here, all of the immigrants, all of the people of color, we have to unite. We have to make this stand in San Francisco and unite, because we don't stand for this. San Francisco doesn't stand for this, right? Right! So we're part of the Filipino Community Center, we're part of Migrante, we're part of migrant people around the world that are standing up against this oppression over people here, in our homelands, at the borders, at the airports, wherever they are taking our people, taking our families, separating us from our children, and imprisoning us. We stand against the abuse of police against our immigrant and people of color communities here against black people in the United States. The stealing of native land, the displacement in our homelands, and displacement and gentrification right here in San Francisco. So we need to build this movement, build it stronger, unite with the migrant communities from the borders to the airports to the city of San Francisco. We need to be in these streets and shut down ICE, shut down these detention centers, shut down the Customs and Border Protection, Homeland Security that has been oppressing our people since the war on terror was launched by this country and since they've been terrorizing our people around the world. The Filipino migrants here in the Philippines and around the world stand with all of you. Let's build this movement and take down this administration that's oppressing our people. Thank you.
You don't want to. Right there is fine.
Buenas tardes. Voy a hablar en español primero.
Hold it.
Buenas tardes. Voy a hablar en español primero. Para todos los que están aquí que no hablan inglés, estamos aquí por los niños. No se puede maltratar a la infancia. La infancia es el futuro de este planeta. Por eso estamos como estamos. Porque no hemos cuidado a la infancia por años y años. Es momento que tendremos que cambiar esa situación. Lo que está haciendo el gobierno de los Estados Unidos en contra de los migrantes del Centroamérica es injusto, porque los Estados Unidos crearon esa catástrofe en Centroamérica y en México y en Sudamérica, y por eso ellos están buscando un refugio aquí. Si no quieres migrantes, no vayas a ningún otro país, quédate aquí, ya es tus business aquí. Now, I'm going to speak in English. I want to make sure that everybody understands history. History is not in the books in the United States. History is in the books of everywhere in the world, but not here. Unfortunately, history is dressed up in this country. History says, if you go to Central America and then I don't like you, I take you over. And I destroy your market. I destroy your exchange. I destroy everything, your culture, your knowledge, everything. Because I want to take care, I want to control you. That is what they did with Central America, with Chile, with Argentina, with Venezuela, with Panama, with Honduras, with El Salvador and Guatemala. And then that is what they're doing with Mexico right now. They are buying Mexico, everything back and forth. And then what? They are not letting come children here, but it's our problem because we are not educated. We don't have the knowledge of the history that this country has done to all America. And then one more thing, and I really want to make a point. America goes from the north, all the way from Greenland, all the way to the Patagonia. We need to start calling every single country for what it is. This is United States of North America. I am American too. People from Central America, they're American too. People from South America, they're American too. So, let me tell you something. This land belongs to them more than to all of us. So, please, we need to do something to stop this. Children cannot be far away from their mothers or fathers or the primary caregiver they are with them. We don't understand the trauma. I work with children in trauma. I have a non-profit in the Mission District. The trauma takes years to heal. It's not something that's gonna forget. 1 hour is at least 10 years of hard work. We need to stop this. We all have to stand up and tell them to stop. No with the children. No with the children. They can do whatever they want between them. But no with the children. The children is the future of this world. Thank you very much. I want to say my name. I want to say my name because I don't care if they come for me or not. My name is Rosaura Camacho Holguin. I was born in Mexico City, and I am American, a United States citizen. I don't care. This has to stop. People have to get educated. We need to raise our level of education in the United States. We need to respect each other, and we need to value everybody for who they are. We cannot take that culture away. We are who we are, and we can be together. We can share knowledge. That is why we are humans. And we need to protect nature. We need to protect our animals and everybody else. We cannot just keep destroying this. Please, let's stop this. Let's bring the children with their parents.
So just hold this like super close to your mouth.
Sí, señora. Sí,
señora.
Sí, señora.
Mujeres dicen la verdad. Women speak the truth.
Sí, always.
I came here when I was a little boy in the 80s, and I've been here ever since. I've got a green card. I don't have my citizenship yet because that shit's expensive. I want to speak to folks. You're going to go back. You're going to talk to other people after this, and they're going to say, well, you didn't change anybody's mind. You didn't convince anyone of anything. You're just speaking to people that already agree with you. But the point of demonstrating like this in solidarity is not a rhetorical task to convince the opposition. History is watching. And people who are in fear are watching. People who are afraid to be out here are watching. And when they see us here, they know they are not alone.
We got their back.
We've got their back. Like Lady Liberty says, we've got their back.
We got their back.
I know this because in January of last year, I was sitting in my apartment having a panic attack and saying to myself, I am a legal resident and I have a right to be here. I am a legal resident and I have a right to be here. Locked in my bedroom, afraid to go outside. And then I saw you, the people of San Francisco, crammed in an airport, demanding rights for people that come from somewhere else. People you don't know, people that you've never met, but people that you knew deserve dignity. And I knew that I was not alone. And then I felt braver. I came back to the city on Monday and I felt I belong here. Last week, the panic hit me again. And then on Thursday, in my little suburb, I found a crowd of people screaming and chanting and singing. And once again, I was reminded, I belong here, you belong here, we belong here. Your presence here in the street speaks to people who are too afraid to speak out and says, you are not alone. The purpose of terrorism is to make people feel afraid and alone. The purpose of government by terror is to make you feel alone. But we are not alone. We belong here. And we're not going anywhere.
Hi, my name is Ellie, and I am the granddaughter of Mexican immigrants. My generation now is educated, and we are becoming lawyers, doctors, teachers, writers, filmmakers. And the thing is, Latinos hold the door open for people behind us to come through who do not have this privilege that I now have. And it's not going to stop. And we're going to speak the truth, and you're going to know it. yourselves for being here. This is incredible. Show up when you can. Thank you.
Hello, I'm from the great island of Puerto Rico, which is getting the shaft as well. And although I am an American citizen, I am not proud of it. Because there's too much going on. That's bad. For us, the American citizen, the regular person just trying to work, take care of their children, put food on the table. How can we do this knowing that there's kids sitting under a tinfoil blanket in a cage? Look at ourselves, look at yourselves in the mirror, see what we are becoming, and do something about it. Don't stay quiet. Yell it out, because this is fucking disgusting what's happening in this country. Tell your neighbors. Tell that person who thinks it's the law. Fuck the law. Fuck Trump. Keep those fucking children safe. Listen, brown people in this country, we're good enough to build the roads. We're good enough to fight the wars, right?
Right. Right.
We gotta be good enough to be left the fuck alone to raise our families. And to give them a better life here. That was the promise of this nation when my father came here. Don't let that promise die.
So my name is Rodel. Nice to meet you folks. Thank you so much for inspiring me of being here today. I'm homeless. I live in the streets. I used to live in a car. I live in the streets because it was not a choice. It's because of the conditions that I'm put in every single day. I didn't choose to be homeless when I decided to come to America. It happened, but it made me feel stronger, and I'm so honored of being around so much brave people that that are not ruled into fear, that are brave to be here. Thank you so much for inspiring me today. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, my name is Karen, and I'm the proud daughter of 2 immigrants. Now, before this week, I knew a lot about Trump. I knew he couldn't lead. The man couldn't lead a hungry dog to its dinner. I knew he was inept. I doubt he can run a dishwasher. He certainly can't run my country. But this week, I learned something new about Donald Trump. I was watching the news this week, and I heard a Honduran woman who had just had a baby on the journey from Honduras to the United States say that she had left her hometown because a drug cartel had lent money to her parents. When they couldn't pay, they said they were going to kill her. So their message was, if you don't do what we want, we'll destroy your family. So she comes north to the border, to the country that I love, the country that welcomes immigrants, only to find that currently the guy in charge says, I'm going to tear the baby from your arms to send a message. I'm going to destroy your family to prove a point. So what I learned this week is that Donald Trump is exactly the kind of bad guy he promised to protect me from. Yeah. And if he doesn't deport himself, Congress should get their act together and impeach the man. Yeah. And if they don't do it, we need to vote to take everyone who supports Donald Trump out of office. And in the meantime, we need to stand up, shoulder to shoulder, hand in hand, with our fellow Americans and our fellow human beings, no matter their color, no matter their creed. And we need to tear this evil fascist cartel boss down.
If anyone else has anything to say. Come on up if anyone else has anything to say.
My name is Jessica. I'm Jewish. I'm transgender. I'm an atheist, and I'm a free thinker. For all of those reasons, I would have been put in the camps the last time. I am here because I am not going to allow this to happen to anyone ever again. When I was growing up in the 80s, Donald Trump was a bad joke. Now the joke is on us, because Trump has become the new Hitler. It used to be hyperbole to call Republicans fascists. It is no longer hyperbole. They are fascists. This is the new Gestapo, and this must be taken down. In my people, we have a saying, and I learned it as a child, and I never thought it would be so relevant. Never again!
Never again!
Never again!
Never again!
So just press the button and hold this like that.
My name is Linda, and I'm the granddaughter of immigrants. I am also Jewish, like the previous speaker. And I remember hearing during World War II how my grandparents' generation had to escape the Holocaust in Europe. And this reminds me of President Roosevelt not allowing the Jewish refugees in, instead letting them go to concentration camps to die and be murdered. This is nothing new. It's just happening again, and I cannot believe it. We have to fight it tooth and nail.
Yeah.
Hi, sorry, I'm not trying to hog the mic. There was a lot of things I forgot. First and foremost, I want to recognize the fact that it's not just San Francisco out here. I'm coming straight up from the East Bay, Hayward, born and bred. I am also part of an activist collective called the Hayward Collective, and we do a lot of great things in the city of Hayward. We push city council to actually recognize Hayward as a sanctuary city. We're doing stuff in regards to rent control, so definitely if you're from there, look into that. I just wanted to mention the fact that that this rhetoric isn't new. This isn't a Trump thing. This isn't a Trump administration thing or a Republican thing. It's this country's thing, because for the longest time growing up, even though I was legally born here, I have carried a lot of self-doubt and imposter syndrome because I didn't think I deserved to be in this country, because I kept being told that I was not really going to turn into anything, that I was not going to do anything productive, that I was not going to do anything beneficial, that my parents' sacrifices wouldn't really be enough to be quite honest, for these rich white folk. And I want to say that let's keep these families together, but let's also create a place where we recognize how messed up that is, that you have to validate your own existence as a human being to be in this country, that you have to serve some sort of productive capacity to even deserve life, that you could literally study in Huehuetenango in Guatemala and get shot in the head for being a threat to someone who's definitely much more larger than you. It becomes this weird question of, you know, how Malcolm X said, where the oppressor convinces you they're the victim. This is just like what happened along the Gaza Strip border, that there are people here that don't have enough power to even cause harm to these people in power, but they definitely, those people in power love using us as scapegoats to scare the hell out of everyone else, to convince them to go along with their inhumane actions. Y solo quería decir eso. Siempre tengo algo más que decir, pero my mom migrated in the middle of the Salvadoran Civil War to the Mission District, and she lived in this city, and yeah, a lot of us have stories like that, and a lot of us are children of immigrants who were not necessarily legal at some point or still now, and
You're doing great. It's all good.
Yeah. The conditions of the countries that my parents come from, that most of my family still live in, are horrible, frightening, terrifying. The fact that you have to pay for your own life to even stay alive, from gang violence, from femicide. Yeah, there's a lot of messed up things that led us to this point, and this whole thing is really messed up. But I really do appreciate, lo agradezco mucho que ustedes están aquí para los niños, para la gente migrante, para la gente que no son model minorities or whatever, model immigrants, that's what I meant to say, that we all have value as human beings. We all deserve a right to life.
Yes!
And a right to live.
The right to bloom.
Okay, yeah. Okay, yeah.
Thank you. What was your name?
Buenas tardes. Mi nombre es Nora Calderón. Soy inmigrante, estoy sin papeles y sin miedo. No tengo miedo de decir mi nombre a la pinche migra, porque la migra y el baboso de Trump son los peores criminales porque traen traje y corbata.
She is undocumented and she's not afraid. She is undocumented and she's not afraid. And then get out of here, immigration and Trump. Well, she used a better word than me.
Ok, no importa, lo importante es que les entendió. Lo que les quiero decir que nosotros los inmigrantes somos gente trabajadora, somos los que le lavamos los calzones a los ricos, le recogemos la comida, se los cocinamos, les cuidamos a sus niños, nosotros no somos criminales. Trump es el que debe de estar en la cárcel ahora.
We are the people that wash the dishes, that wash the underwear, that give food to the children, that we take care of you, that we clean everything. We work hard. We are not criminals. Trump is the criminal.
Además, ningún ser humano, por más chiquito o grande, todos merecemos el mismo respeto, porque un ser humano es un ser humano. Y ya basta de que nos estén encerrando y no estamos hablando jugando. Trump quiere la revolución, pues va a empezar la revolución con ese pendejo.
We are all human beings, small and big. We are all human beings. And then if Trump wants a revolution, we are all going to start the revolution now.
Y la cosa que va a pasar eso es porque la tierra es de quien la trabaja, y nosotros, la gente de color, de todo el mundo, que el baboso gobierno de este país nos ha empujado a venir acá, a poner sus fábricas en nuestros países, a hacernos inmigrar a este país. Nosotros no estamos aquí porque queremos, estamos aquí porque este maldito gobierno, desde que yo soy niña, recuerdo, siempre ha habido gente bracera, siempre trae gente trabajadora y los explota a los afroamericanos.
is for the people that work the land. She is here not because she wants to be here, it's because this country had put the factories on our countries, and then we have the necessity to come here to work. But we work the land, we are the ones that we need respect. And she said more of that. I'm sorry.
Pues gracias por escucharnos y gracias por apoyarnos unos a los otros. No importa el color, no importa de dónde vengamos en este mundo, todos somos inmigrantes y merecemos respeto. Así que vamos a seguir en la lucha hasta derrotar al baboso de Trump, que deje a nuestros compañeros, los padres y los hijos libres ahora.
So she is requesting from Trump respect and freedom for everybody that's here without documents, because we work and we deserve respect. Thank you.
All right, we got a couple more people coming out. I just wanted to repeat something that has been said a couple of times, and I think it bears repeating. This is not a Trump problem. These camps were being built before Trump even said he was running. Hillary Clinton just recently said it is morally wrong to take children away from their families. This is the same woman who supported the 1994 crime bill that literally destroyed an entire generation of African American families. Also, before I pass the mic, because there's a lot of amazing people that want to speak, it is also Juneteenth Day. I went to public school in California, so I literally just found out what that was. Please Google it.
Yes. Oh, wait. Oh, excuse me, puppy dog? Okay. Yes.
Hey, can you hear me?
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone, for coming out here. It's amazing to see people stick around after 2. I just wanted to make sure everyone who's here knows that whether you're in San Francisco or Hayward or San Bruno, wherever you're coming from, you should know that your taxpayer dollars are sitting in a bank of all the financiers of private prisons, pipelines, predatory lending, you name it, weapons manufacturers, the banks, they're using taxpayer money to back those loans. So what everyone wants to do is, hopefully you can educate yourself on public banking, but you can also look up SF Public Bank on Twitter or Google it, and hopefully it will come up. But if you want to start a campaign to try to get your city's money out of Wall Street that's financing all this horrible shit, you need to get educated and get organized. And it's totally not a nonprofit thing. We're not a nonprofit at all. We really just want to educate people and empower people to get their city taxpayer money out of these banks and into their communities. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Lisa Milos, and my mother was an immigrant. She was Chilean. And if anything could teach us about U.S. intervention in Latin America, it would be Chile. U.S. intervened in Central America, costing hundreds of thousands of lives, not only killing people by financing dictatorships there, but also imposing conditions such as NAFTA on Mexico, which impoverished peasants. And so that is the reason why many people are in this situation right now. Not only that, but we're financing what's called the war on drugs, which actually finances and sends weapons to these same cartels. So we, as the United States, have to change we have to completely change what's happening here. We also have to realize and call out Democratic members of Congress, such as Barbara Boxer, who used to be a member of Congress. In 1994, she called for the National Guard to be sent to the border. This was during Wilson's reign when he was proposing 187, Prop 187. We have Gianna Napolitano, who right now heads the University of California. She was head of the Department of Homeland Security, who deported 3 million people. That also separated families and left children here without their parents. So we cannot just call this a Trump thing. We need to face up, people, and we need to make sure that any Democrat that gets elected denounces those kind of policies, all of them.
There was a young woman that wanted to speak, but I don't see her anymore. Are you still here?
I'm not young, but I want to speak.
Everyone can speak.
This is cool.
Okay.
I've been waiting for quite a while.
I'm okay.
Can you hear me okay? Can you hear me?
Yeah, so make sure that you hold this and then put it in your mouth.
Okay, you can hear me now. I can hear myself. Since we're standing out here in front of this building with this big Nazi eagle on it, I have a brief message for everyone who works for ICE and Homeland Security. I worked for the University of California for a quarter of a century, so I worked for a large organization that sometimes does bad things. And I can tell you that you don't have to be a good little Nazi and go along with everything they tell you to do. Don't do it. You know how to do your job. You also know how to not do your job. You've got 1,000 ways of not doing your job. Don't do your job if it's an evil job. Find a way to not do it. Don't quit your job. Don't do your job.
Yes.
Good afternoon, everybody. Is that a good distance? No. Look closer. Swallow the mic. All right. There we go. This morning, Barbara Ehrenreich, who has been one of the best historians of what's happening with class struggle, if you will, in the U.S. for many years, said one child crying is a signal to our hardwiring to care for that child and fix the problem. 2,000 children crying is the call for a revolution. Woo! My mother grew up in a household with undocumented parents. This was back when it was called INS, not ICE. She knew what it was like growing up during the Depression. Her family could have been destroyed at any moment. I wish my grandfather were alive now to see that people can stand up and say, I'm undocumented, but I'm proud of who I am. I have a right to work. I have a right to go to college. I have a right to contribute to my community. He had to sneak around. He eventually got a pathway to becoming a naturalized citizen. But I know what it was like, and my mother can tell you what it was like. And nobody is going to throw their bullshit about illegals in my face. They can walk up to my 88-year-old mother and say it, and see what she has to say, because she can tell you a lot. We've been through this before. We're going through it again. And the one glimmer of hope I see in these really, really dark times that are ahead of us is that people from across the spectrum are saying, this is too much. It's got to stop. I'm heartened to my days a young teen during what I still call the war on Vietnam. We got together. We were in the streets like this. There was a broad coalition, and we didn't always like or trust each other. We said nasty things about each other's politics. We didn't think we could be there, but we showed up for marches that went from here all the way out to the ocean. I've been teaching school. My home is in Berkeley, more or less. Been there since I graduated from high school, more or less, with travel breaks mostly in Mexico and Central America. I worked there as a health worker. I've been teaching independent study high school down in the southern Salinas Valley in a place that is mostly Spanish-speaking, largely immigrant. We have many DACA students, many people without documentation, many people who've been here a long time. I'm there to help some of the neediest kids in a very needy district get it together, get what they need, give back to their parents who took tremendous risks to bring them to this country thinking things would be better. Okay? I can't stand to hear one of those children crying. We're hearing thousands of them, and I hope Barbara Ehrenreich is right, and we're going to take those children's cries as our call to get together, form up teams with the people you thought you couldn't work with, stop quibbling over what you think the right strategy is, and get your butt out in front of buildings like this, in the streets, in the parks. Make yourself be heard. If you're not in a position to risk arrest because you yourself have minor children or disabled dependents, independence. I'm caretaking for an elderly friend right now. I can't go to jail because I'm afraid my friend who has no living family could die. But I can come here, I can go to Toastmasters and get better at making speeches. I can write press releases like my transgender kid is doing, living on the border near San Antonio, Texas. Okay, we can all find a way to help, but we're going to have to take a lot of risks ourselves in support of the people who have risked everything, and some of them have lost almost everything, to try to bring a little bit of decency to this country. Thank you. I wish my grandfather were here to see all of you.
Of course.
Say it with me if you agree. This is fascism!
This is fascism!
This must stop!
This must stop!
In the name of humanity!
In the name of humanity!
We refuse!
We refuse!
To accept! A fascist America!
A fascist America!
We must get in the streets!
We must get in the streets!
And stay in the streets!
And stay in the streets!
Until these fascists!
Until these fascists!
Are off our streets!
Are off our streets!
Out of our universities!
Out of our universities!
And out of the White House!
And out of the White House!
Can I get a hell yeah?
Hell yeah!
I'm from Revolution Books. Yeah. And there's a fascist right here that people have surrounded. At Revolution Books, fascists are not welcome.
Yeah.
I just want to say, any system that tears kids away from their parents, any system that puts children in cages, any system that does all this and so much more does not have a right to exist. Can I get a hell yeah?
Hell yeah!
We need a revolution. Can you say it with me? We need a revolution. And what I mean by revolution is an actual overthrow of this system. If you want to fight more, yes, put your fists in the air. Woo! And if you want to find more about it, go to revcom.us or Revolution Books, or come up to me and talk to me. And let's stay in the streets and keep in the streets and not tolerate these crimes against humanity, because that's what this is.
Yeah, and then make sure it's really close to your mouth.
Okay. Hi, my name is Divya, and I'm 15 years old, and I'm Indian. I'm Indian heritage, and I live in America. I'm a United States citizen, and when I was in kindergarten, we had a dollhouse at my public school, and there was a little white girl who I thought I was friends with who controlled it, and one day she came up to me when I was trying to go inside, and she said, "You can't come in here, you don't look like us." So I thought that was pretty weird. But, you know, it made me feel weird at first. You can talk to my parents, my mom's right there. I went back home and I asked her why I had to look like this. So I'll admit I felt weird back then. And then I'm in high school right now, I'm going into junior year. And last year, someone asked me why I had white friends and Latino friends, and why I didn't hang out with more Indian people. And this person wasn't even Indian, but like, what happened was, you know, half of my school, I go to a public school in California, and half of the school is Latino, and 40% is white, and the rest is the rest of our, you know, nation. Now, the fact is, I'm going to be friends with people who don't look like me, but for some reason, that was considered weird. But, you know, at first, that made me really, again, it set me off, put me off, just like it did in kindergarten. And, you know, I went on anxiety, meds, I became depressed. I was really confused because all of my friends were different from me, and I was starting to feel weird for that. And that's what Trump and that's what people have been trying to do from before now. You know, I started speech and debate this year and it showed me a lot of stuff because Trump is a terrible guy, but these terrible people have been there for so long and they've been trying to make people feel weird. So the people that are being separated right now, you know, children from their families and any Latino families, any brown and black families here especially, are being made to feel weird when Trump's weird and you are weird for thinking that integration is weird because segregation was weird and that's gone now and we're trying to keep it gone. So just keep integrating. Thank you.
So you just, you're gonna hold it this way, make sure it's really close to your mouth, and you press the button. Thank you. Yeah.
Hello everyone, my name is Israel Kazan. I am an immigrant. And I immigrated a year and 7 months ago, and I am truly blessed to be here in America to experience the opportunities that this country has to offer. But before I go into my thing, I just want to share a song with all of you. I believe the children are our future. Teach them well and let them lead the way. Show them all the beauty they possess inside. Give them a sense of pride to make it easier. Let the children's laughter remind us how we used to be. First of all, thank you. First of all, thank you for being the people who are right here, ready to stand up to fight for those children who are separated from their parents. Thank you for being the people who care enough. Being the people who are here standing in front of everyone else of this building, even though they're not meeting us outside. But anyways, thank you. Thank you for being here. And so, like 3 months ago, or maybe 4 months ago, we had a gun violence protest in our school. And at that moment, I realized that this country doesn't value the students. That our president doesn't care about students' lives. And that's why I'm here. I'm very thankful for each and every one of you who are willing to listen, who are willing to be here, to do something to impact everyone. And I would just like to end with this. It's a thing by Asada Shakur. Repeat after me, please. It is our duty to fight for our freedom.
It is our duty to fight for our freedom.
It is our duty to win.
It is our duty to win.
We must love each other and support each other.
We must love each other and support each other.
We have nothing to lose but our chains.
We have nothing to lose but our chains.
Louder. It is our duty to fight for our freedom.
It is our duty to fight for our freedom.
It is our duty to win.
It is our duty to win.
We must love each other and support each other.
We must love each other and support each other.
We have nothing to lose but our chains.
We have nothing to lose but our chains.
Thank you, everyone.
Hey guys, it only takes 3.5% of the population to deter authoritarianism. Okay? You're here. You're it. It takes peaceful resistance and 3.5% of the population. Thank you all for coming.
My name is Stephen. I'm a member of the Democratic Socialists of America. I'm going to speak very briefly. I'm Jewish. I grew up getting a Jewish education and learning about my ancestors being put into camps. And there are some who try to justify what's happening right now, and they would say that ICE agents are just following orders. And to that I would say that question was settled at Nuremberg. And I came across a quotation recently that I want to share. It was from the historian Howard Zinn, and he said that the greatest injustices in history were caused not by people being disobedient, but by people being obedient. And so that's why I think it's time for us all to get very comfortable with disobedience. And that's why we're here today. The solidarity forever.
Anyone else? Oh, I'm not organizing this. I literally just took this mic from a white person.
The next protests are Saturday morning, June 23rd at the Embarcadero Center, 10 a.m. We will see you there.
And El Cerrito Plaza, the BART station, 6 p.m., 6 to 7. On Thursday? Oh, Thursday, this Thursday, in 2 days.
And the big one, June 30th, 11 a.m., Civic Center. We will see you there.
Thanks, y'all. Who did I steal this from? Thank you. Thank you. Hey.
What channel is this? I don't know. What channel is this? Oh. Mercury News.
All right.
It's coming in internet?
Yeah, it's right around there. It's not down, but no, almost made the fatal mistake. I can grab that sign for you. Thank you.